Can we have a roll call, please?
Bob Brand,
Here.
Carol Killian, Chris Bowler,
Here.
Derek Harris,
Here.
Harry Lloyd,
Here.
Christos Mavronis,
Here.
Ruth Traeger, Brad Harris,
Here.
Nancy Kiefer, excuse me, Keith Norden, and Lou Paris, we know is not here.
Okay. Very good. Everyone should have received a copy of the minutes. If we could get a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Let's move on to reports. Volusia County Economic Development. I see Brad's here for Lou.
I am.
Welcome.
Yeah. Brad Harris.
Turn-
Brad Harris, Business Manager with Volusia County Economic Development. Good morning, all. I just wanted to mention a couple things. I think in the last meeting, maybe Nancy mentioned the Charter Review Commission, which is going on right now. There was a meeting last evening. The next meeting will be the 10th of November, but there were listening sessions around the county back in September. So that work is ongoing for the county. Those are meetings that can be attended publicly. If anybody wants to hear the conversations as we review the basically charter for the county of Volusia. So that's going on right now. I did want to mention one thing that maybe you saw in one of the local newspapers, and that's our Acuity program. The Acuity program is a program designed for business that's offered by the Volusia County Public Library. And that Volusia Business Pass program has now received 2 state awards for innovation and just creative ways to help the business community. So that's one of the things we're celebrating right now as the county is a new program through the library system called Acuity Business Pass.
And could you just give us a brief rundown on what that is?
What it is, it's a new library card exclusive to businesses. And the businesses that take advantage of this program and get those cards have access to all the research capabilities within the library, which they would have under the normal library card. But what we've done is we've created a page and an entry point that just has business resources on it. And so if you've gone to the library website with a library card, finding business-related resources is quite a chase. And so we wanted to consolidate that into a single landing page to help businesses access those resources, some of which, or many of which, there are fees related to. If you wanted to get into, for instance, Data Axle, which used to be Reference USA, there's a substantial subscription cost for a business. Now you get it for free through the library system. It also offers our businesses that are part of the program free access to meeting rooms in our libraries. That's a benefit that nonprofit organizations have had historically, but not the for-profit business sector. Now they do. Now they can utilize library facilities, the regional library facilities, for no charge. It also gives them access to a free series of seminars, which we do 6 times a year. We'll have professional business seminars. We just had the most recent one in Port Orange Regional Library, which I think there were 30 people in attendance. So well attended, professionally done, free of charge, and we'll start that new series again in 2026. So it gives them the training, gives them access to resources, basically gives them access to free meeting facilities in our libraries. So those are the benefits that come with it.
Good. Very good.
We went to the awards ceremony in Jacksonville, and we were approached by other counties looking for things like this to engage business in their library systems. So we're working with some others to help them do the same thing.
Great.
So that's what Acuity is.
Very good.
On the Volusia Business Resources side, which we're involved with, as Jeff is, as one of the business servicing partners, in November, and I don't think we'll meet before that happens, it'll be about the same time, we are going to open the window for the Volusia Innovation Challenge, which is a pitch competition for the county. And last year we had a very successful event at the Ocean Center. So you'll be seeing information going out on that shortly to open that window once again for applications for those that want to pitch their business and compete for top prize of $10,000. And probably it will be in the Ocean Center again this year.
So these are new startup businesses.
That's correct.
Okay.
Early stage businesses that are looking for exposure and a little help in organizing their pitch and just getting started. But that $10,000 is a real help to an upstart business for sure.
Sure. Very
Those
good.
are the main things I did want to mention, and I know Lou probably spent time on this. Our Volusia Innovation Hub grand opening was back in September. It was a great success. The first cohort of trainees in the Launchpad program, which is basically taking entrepreneurs and early stage companies and helping them with strategy and some of the tools they need to grow. So that 9-week program is now, this Friday will be the 4th session in that. It's very well attended. I think there's 18 companies in there right now, and they're already starting to sign up for the next cohort that will happen in January. So the program's been a great success in terms of the kickoff, great participation in the first cohort. Windows open for another cohort in January.
Very good.
All right. And
Thank you, Brad.
Those are the updates.
Thank you, Brad.
Mr. Chairman, if I could ask a
sure.
question, just
Sure.
as it relates to
Oh,
the
absolutely,
charter
yeah.
review, is there anything from a city perspective, any topics that, having gone through this one, there's topics that are top of mind. Is there anything that would be affecting the local cities or the business community at large on economic development side?
I don't have anything specific. I know there were listening sessions. I did not attend the listening sessions. The first meeting that the commission had was really just understanding the legal implications of what they're doing. Last night was the first discussion of those, which again, I was not at that meeting, so I can't really guide you or update you there.
Excuse me. Keith Norton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a pleasure to be here to update the Economic Development Advisory Board. September 23rd, we had a great day for the city of Daytona Beach. We had the ribbon cutting for the Amazon Robotic Fulfillment Center. It was a great day, 5-story facility, probably one of the largest fulfillment centers Amazon has built. And the exciting thing, and Mr. Brown can concur, I think it was the largest real estate transaction one of the largest for Volusia County, because Amazon actually bought the facility. It was going to be leased through their developer, Hillwood Development, that develops most of their fulfillment centers, but it's a great stamp of approval for our region. And, Team Volusia has been working with Amazon since 2013. The first fulfillment center went to Deltona in 2019, but we are excited about their continued investment in our community. And not officially, but the employment there at the center, which I'm delighted to learn is currently 2,000. So 2,000 employees in zip code 32114 is amazing, and it's great for our community in that all the jobs come with benefits day one, 401k, healthcare, and college tuition. So it's a great place for people to land and develop their careers later on, perhaps not at Amazon, but perhaps in other fields. So we're delighted about that. This week, we are a co-exhibitor at NBAA, which is the National Aviation Business Association. It's in Las Vegas, and we are co-exhibiting with Select Florida. Frank Jones is there. And then next month, we will also work with Select Florida in hosting an array of business consultants and site location consultants who will be at Lake Nona in the Orlando area, but we are working with statewide partners for an event before the meeting starts. So exciting times. As you know, we are the outreach organization for Volusia County and our 16 municipalities. And so we take a great care in working with aviation aerospace, but also site location consultants who can validate our area and refer business to us, plus other targets. We have 7 targets, but we are excited about where we are, and we have a good array of projects in the pipeline. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, Keith. Can you give us an update, or if you have any information on the new industrial park that is slated on on Williamson, just south of Bevel Road, that's currently being marketed? It's along I-95. About 3 million square feet of space is projected there.
Is that the Karasi project?
Yeah, the Karasi
I
project.
don't. The city would have more knowledge. They
Okay.
they are investors in our organization, but I know they've been working with the city
Right.
in plotting that. And as you know, as a gift to us, temporarily, they gave us 2 billboards to advertise Team Volusia in Volusia County.
nice.
And they are ready to take those back and actually advertise their site. It was understood, but
Right.
I asked for my headshot on one of them, and it was immediately turned down.
Did they determine it might be counterproductive?
And then actually, so a bad weather system actually tore the proposed billboard off. So anyways, I think it was God acting in mysterious ways, keeping my headshot from I-95.
Yeah. Jeff, do you have any information on that? I mean, as far as, I think it's still going through permitting, I think.
Tonight.
Correct. They're going through the,
Second readings tonight.
yeah, and they also got to do their future land use change as well. And then they can get to the PD and set up the initial things. at the
Okay, so
PD.
they're
But
probably
I'll-
another 6 months to a year permitting?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Once you get your site plan, get a site plan approved, somewhere
Right.
in that ballpark.
Okay.
It's exciting for us because, as you know, Mr. Chair, we need product.
Yes, we do.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah,
that
no,
they're
it's a-
finally developing the site.
It's probably one of the few remaining sites in Daytona Beach, I think, that
Yeah.
certainly of that size that can be developed.
It's 267 acres.
Yeah, yeah.
That's-
So,
Mr. Chairman, I
That's a
have a
chunk.
question, Keith, dealing with the Amazon project. So it's technically right in the 32114 area code?
It is.
Right in that area, which is excellent. Have they already, what is the finish date or completion date of everything?
It is completed.
It's completed, so they've already fulfilled all of their, as far as like employment and different things? are
Yes,
considered?
their employment was 1,000, and they've increased that, doubled it, not including seasonal employees. So
Yeah,
it's,
especially during the Christmas holiday time.
yes.
Wow,
So we're
that's
delighted.
excellent.
And that zip code is it's so great for the zip code, because
That's
if
what
you
I'm
look
saying,
at,
right.
you look at what's happened with Embry-Riddle, the Speedway, Amazon, the airport, that's a great amount of investment, all within basically walking distance. And Daytona State College, so it's great what's happened to that zip code.
Good, because the reason why I'm saying that, I know my church is in 32114 area
Sure.
code. So, and my business as well. How far, can someone tell me, how far does the 32114 go that way? I didn't realize all of that 32114
I believe it goes all the way to Williamson.
all the way to Williamson?
And that goes on from the river. I live in 32114. And by the way, if anyone wants to move to 32114, it's a beautiful zip code. We love 32114. So come on, move on in. But it goes all the way from the river, I believe,
All the way back
to Williamson. It goes all the way up.
Yeah.
It goes all the way
includes
to
NASCAR's.
95.
Yeah.
All the way to 95.
So it's that whole slice, correct? I would like to move to,
Beautiful zip code.
I would like to move to 32114, but don't tell the city of Holly Hill. This is televised, I'm sorry.
so, yeah.
That's excellent news, thank you.
Keith, I know coming in, they advertised their projected average wage at that Amazon facility. And what was that? Do you recall?
It was 19, but what I've heard, it's more like 23
Good.
per hour. So that's right around the county average wage.
Very good.
And it can go up. We were able to tour just a small group of city officials and county officials were invited, and I still don't understand the process.
Yeah, right.
It's unbelievable.
Pretty high tech, yeah.
Yeah, it is. They do have humans working there, which is good for me to know in case I need to do another type of profession in the near future.
When you're ready to move on.
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully I can make the cut with 2,000.
All right, very good.
It's, those of us that live near there, I live across the way, the fear was tractor trailers. You know, when they promised 600 a day, they must come in during the middle of the night because maybe we'll see a half a dozen during the day. There really hasn't been a major impact on Belleville Road, and they do use Williamson. Williamson to get back out too. But I went by the facility probably a couple of months ago, and it was full of tractor trailers. You know, and I said, where the hell did these come from? You know, because you don't see them. They must come in on off hours, and they're not impacting the traffic on Bevel as was projected and feared. So
Well,
I
the
think
only
it's-
traffic they'd affect on Bevel is from from Williamson to the highway, right?
Yeah, but it was.
Because that's what they're all coming out onto Williamson.
They're coming out at that light. There's a light at Pelican Bay Drive and Clyde Morris, Bevel Road rather. And so that was the stack up. They were supposed to use that entrance exclusively. And so the fear was, as far as you could see, tractor trailers, but it just hasn't materialized. It's
Good.
They're really pretty good neighbors to live with.
Very good.
That's wonderful to hear.
Any other questions for Keith? Okay, let's move on. Nancy is not with us today, so we'll skip over the Daytona Regional Chamber. I will say
Can I
the
give
new.
one chamber update?
Sure.
It'd be great for this community to know that on Friday, November 14th, is the One Table event that's going to happen in partnership with Daytona Beach on Beach Street. But a really great community event. You know, one long table of people having dinner and celebrating this community. So I did my Nancy Kiefer
Okay.
justice, and the city sponsoring it. So it's a great way to support the
Oh, and
business.
I'm bringing the bread.
Friday, November
I'm making the
12th.
bread for that.
Oh, good.
14th.
bread.
14th. It's that Friday.
So you have to go.
If you're bringing the bread,
Chris always is involved.
if you're bringing the bread, that means
I believe
that I'll
6
be there.
o'clock. 6 to 8 o'clock. Is it dinner?
Very good. Okay. Let's move on to Jeff and your update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you can see, pretty steady this last month on the COs. Matter of fact, I had to run it twice to make sure that the 40 units of single family that was permitted for September, because that's exactly what we had in August. And we were about $200,000 off, so it was really messing with my head to make sure that I did everything correctly and to make sure I got those numbers right on the 16,109,000 as opposed to 16,300 and something thousand from the previous month. Our TRT, as you can see, is also pretty steady again. I think kind of over any of the shocks to the economic system that we've seen. It is moving along pretty consistently is what we've seen now coming out of the spring and summer times. Biketoberfest starts tomorrow, but I will tell you that we've had visitors for that event already in town for this whole week. Since Sunday, since I saw a large batch come in on Sunday and actually did not turn off at my exit, but followed them to see where they were going, and they turned right off on International Speedway and right into town. So they're already here. I know last month we asked about fees. We will be bringing those in December since you won't be here in November. I'll bring the whole schedule with us and some comparisons. Next month, Mr. Lloyd brought to my attention that I'd forgotten that I was to ask Dennis Morozak, our planning director, to come and talk about Avalon. I'll go and have a meeting with him right now after we get done with this meeting, and I'll have him ask about the Karasi property and give you an update about Avalon. And then in December, we will make touch today with Michael and Jessica about coming to do the Brownfields report in December
Okay.
as well. So that is my report.
Very good.
One question. We've had 2 months now with no multifamily. Are we expecting another wave of those to come in?
Yeah, I think some of the development along LPGA on the north side we'll start to see, and also some of the Oasis properties
Okay.
over the next several months will start to come in as well.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure thing.
Is there any update on this small business incentive grant? Did it go before the board commission?
No, I've got to
yet?
get that on the agenda as well.
Yeah.
And I've got Keith to come make a presentation, so I got to work all that out today about getting that all on the agenda.
And they
for-
lowered it from, if you're less than 50 employees now,
Correct.
you can apply.
Yeah, so if you're between 10 and 50, so anybody that had more than 10 employees could apply before, but you were doing that longer application.
Yeah.
So all we're trying to do is make it easier for them by having that secondary, smaller application.
Any other questions for Jeff? Okay, let's move on. Any old business that that we need to address? New business? Anything new that needs to be brought up? Public comment period. Come on up. How are you?
I'm good. John Nicholson, Daytona Beachside. One, I wasn't going to speak on Bike Week, but I spoke at the Main Street Merchants Association. My desire to extend Biketoberfest to 10 days. You said the people are just now coming in. I live on the beachside, 3.5 blocks from Main Street, a block from Seabreeze. They were here last weekend. They're always here the weekend before. They don't get to Main Street a lot. They end up in Ormond Beach. Ormond Beach takes our money. It is our event, and we refuse to make money off of it for 4 days, which doesn't make any sense to me. I think it makes a great deal of sense because Janet Kersey promised us it would never grow past 32,000 people. It did that the third year it started. So it has always been a large event. Our biggest fear 40 years ago was the noise. Bike Week was horrendous if you lived in the neighborhood. Traffic was horrendous. It is no longer that way. Main Street has decided a dozen years or so ago to be considerate of the neighbors, and they turn their speakers inward. I work with them on motorcycle parking. They no longer park in front of my house because there's enough parking near Main Street. So there are all the things that we worried about. Biketoberfest is not there. Since the problems are not there, I see no reason why we can't extend it because the vendors would not come for 3 days, all right? So that was a problem for them. If we extend it to 10 days, the vendors will come. If we make it a bigger event with vendors and with entertainment, then the population will come. And I think both events are slowing down. They need as much help as possible. So that's why I'm suggesting a 10-day event. Secondly, the mayor has been pushing affordable housing for years, all right? Well, so he says, all right? When he went into office, he talked about affordable housing. For 8 years, he didn't mention a word of it, all right? The last 3 years, he's been mentioning affordable housing. We got affordable housing with the county at Clyde Morris Landing, all right? He had pitched that it was for teachers, policemen, firemen, the people that work in our city that need a place to stay because they can't afford it. Well, if you go to Clyde Morris Landing, the affordable housing is HUD housing. The police are out there every night. I talk to the sheriff when I go to the county council meeting. He says he serves eviction notices every single day. So what we had imagined affordable housing to be turned out not to be the case. And if we continue at every affordable housing to put in HUD housing and have the same problems, it doesn't make sense. All right? I know we lost a project in downtown on Ridgewood. The people that are now building at the south end or the north end of Beach Street were supposed to build a apartment complex and a garage on Ridgewood. At the last minute, the mayor said, I want HUD housing. I want 15% HUD housing. And then Rob Gilliland said, I want 20 spaces in your garage free to the public. Well, the man couldn't make the numbers match, and we lost the project. So we can't always have affordable housing in all of our projects. Some of them don't make sense. It is a CRA directive is to bring the areas up in value, all right? That should be our prime. So people moving in with money, this is the second time we've done this. Years ago, we wanted a project right behind McKay's. Again, they wanted 10% affordable housing. Well, if you're in affordable housing, you don't have money. So that doesn't help us fill the cafes, the restaurants, buying in the stores, because they literally don't have the money to do so. And to get our businesses downtown or beachside or in Midtown, you need disposable income. That's my premise, and I believe it to be true. All right? So I'm asking you to look at our rules for affordable housing. If we have to, you have to be employed. The idea of filling affordable housing with people that are not employed does not help the areas. So it's an area I think is a problem. I brought it to the county. I brought it to the city because the city had people coming to it a couple of months ago. They were having problems at Clyde Morris Landing, the 3 old ladies. They were being threatened by the youths, all right? They're 2 years old and it's falling apart. It shouldn't be falling apart. So if there is a problem at Clyde Morris Landing with affordable housing, it would be in our best interest to find out what the problems are and correct it before we go up creating that same problem over and over again. Thank you.
I have a question for him, if possible.
Sure.
I'm dealing with Biketoberfest.
Uh-huh.
What do your fellow, because you live near Main Street.
Oh, yeah.
So how do the other residents around there feel as far as extending it? Because I know back in the day they did have some complaints about
Yes.
noise and stuff. How do they feel?
They don't, from what I understand, the old residents, those of us that have lived, see, I've only lived there 40 years.
Right.
But some of my neighbors that have been there longer have now died out. All right? So everybody that's moved in is well aware of Biketoberfest. All of them want to live in an area that is urban.
Okay.
They want the noise, they want the population, because they're moving in for that reason. My neighbor, $850,000 house, which is not cheap,
Right.
all right, wants to be there because he can walk to the bars, he can walk to the restaurants,
Okay.
he can walk to the beach, he can walk to the band shell. In my particular area, I'm very unique because I can go to 20 different things that are very worthy from my house, and I can walk it, so I don't have to move my car.
Okay.
That's what my neighbors are looking for.
Yes.
So they don't, and secondly, we don't even hear it. Because as you know, the Ocean Center has been built since that time,
Right.
blocks all the noise. I mean, it's a big building. Then they extended it, which makes it almost impossible to hear, except for Cruising Cafe. When they turn their speakers in the wrong way, it goes down that alley, it goes in the front of the Ocean Center, it goes through the garage to my bedroom window.
Well, the reason why I asked that question, because I've talked to some of the vendors, and they said the exact same thing you said. Why should I pay to just have 3 days?
Right.
So what you're saying really makes sense, that if they were to extend it, it would make better sense. So I just wanted to ask that question.
Okay. I hope it answers it.
John, real quick.
And,
Have you had a conversation with the CVB? Because they're the ones who actually sponsor that event.
How many comments do you want? How many years?
One.
Okay, yes, last several years, and they keep saying, "Well, it's not in our will. It's the city." They're
No.
holding back, saying, "Oh, we can't do anything about it." And I hear that all the time. I can't do. The city's stopping me. The city's stopping me. The city. There are several people that wanted to open up businesses on Main Street, and the city wouldn't allow it. All right, because you get CRA funds, they're called TIF funds, and the city will withhold it if you go to Main Street, but they will give it to you if you go to Beach Street.
Wow.
There was a place called Hamburger Mary's, very, very famous, all right? It wanted to be on Main Street. It was the place they wanted to be, and they said no. So they ended up on Beach Street. They lasted, 2 years?
Then closed.
And then they closed.
Right.
So we're still in that stage where we're not encouraging. They just had an opening for the Arch. And 2 years ago, the mayor said, "Oh, we have to pay attention and start giving money to the B-side." And I don't know if you're aware of this, but the mayor sent out a flyer when he ran for election, I spent $50 million in downtown. I spent $60 million on Midtown. I spent $780,000 on Beachside in 5 years. So Jim Chisholm didn't want to spend any money on the Beachside. He felt the Beachside did not do their fair share. So if they're not going to chip in money, I'm going to ignore them. So for 12 years, he ignored Beachside. Almost no money went into Beachside, literally. There's still no money going into Beachside. We got $11,000 for Collins Park. As you know, they did a lot of money on Daisy Stocking Park, $2 million. Was it $1.5 million on Dickerson? We put another $500,000 in equipment, and that's not going in Beachside. So $11,000 compared to $4 million in Midtown is not balanced. And so we are not, because I've tried to convince the county, and I don't think I need to convince you guys, that Daytona Beach is the economic engine of the county. This is where the money is. Secondly, Beachside is the money for the city of Daytona Beach. Even before we did LPGA, LPGA is giving us a ton of money, and they're not asking a lot. And when one guy came before the city commission and complained that we don't have parks, we don't have a library, we don't have post office, Stacy Cantu read him the riot act, embarrassed the heck out of the poor man. But he was true. They don't have any of that stuff. And Karen Killian, for the first time, said, I agree with you. We don't have any of that. And we should be planning for them. What's in Margaritaville is irrelevant to the whole community west of 95. So west of 95 is now being built out. I know the mayor doesn't believe me, but there is a Margaritaville. There is Mosaic, and there are a ton of apartments out there. So what are we doing for them that we're doing for the rest of the city? Absolutely nothing. And we have to plan that now because it takes a while. Now, Stacy said, oh, well, we've got a park there on LPGA. She bought the land with her funds, right? It's all palm trees. You can't get onto the property. I don't consider that a park. Beachside has 4 parks that you can't get into because it's raw land. Right across from Long Street, we've had that property 50 years, and we've never been able to put a park in it for 50 years. For 20 years, we've had a park right next to Main Street. It's never been developed because we don't have the money. But we can spend $2 or $3 million in Midtown. We can spend, well, we didn't spend, but somebody did, $35 million in downtown for a park. To be able to say that we don't have any money for Beachside is a bit, so we do have to spend some time looking, because it is our economic engine, and it looks like, pardon my language, oh, sorry, there is a lady. It looks like crap. It really does. And I live there, and I don't want to say that, but it's true. And I told you that you guys were not going to like what they're going to do to A1A. And the public came out and said they hate those chicanes. Seriously. And FDOT came back and they're taking them out. So they're paying attention, but the city is not paying attention. Now the county is paying attention. At some point, the city's got to look at Beachside as an economic advantage. We do have hotels, all right? If you go to Halifax Harbor, you go to CVB, the money is in Daytona Beach. Why don't we take advantage of it? All right? For years, you go to any of these meetings for the planning board, and a hotel comes up. We don't want you. You're too tall. You're too dense. You're too this. There are people that don't. A guy that's pushing Main Street, Tom Gaffrey, doesn't want a single hotel. We lost 17 hotels. We've gotten back 1 hotel. So if you lose 17 and you get back 1, you're not over hotels. We need the hotels because without the hotels, we don't get the bodies. Without the bodies, we don't get the money. Just that simple to me. Right? Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could add a couple comments to that. Number one, I think LPGA, your comments about LPGA are right. The roadway doesn't look good. There's been no beautification of LPGA Boulevard from Nova Road to 95 and beyond. no palm trees, nothing. It's very barren. And given the amount of commercial activity out there and development, you would think there'd be some plans to enhance the appearance of the LPGA corridor. Number two, I think your comments about the beach side are very well taken, and I don't know if it's in the what role this board can play in that, but I would echo that Daytona Beach, the beach needs a lot of help, and this is a personal opinion of mine. And as long as you have driving on the beach or talk about increasing driving on the beach, you're not going to get the capital investment along the beach from investors to redevelop that area and build new product. Because it drives room prices down. And I think that as long as we have driving or expand driving on the beach, I think that's going to be an issue. So, Jeff, I don't know what this committee, where do we stand in this process? Is this something that we can take up in any form, or?
Yeah, as part of the ordinance that establishes this board, anything that deals with the economic development of the city, this body can make a stand on and make a recommendation to the city commission. And we can forward those recommendations to the city commission then.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Even the comments that he made, I serve on several committees of bringing conventions here on a religious basis. And the first thing, we bring a delegation in and they look at where are the hotel rooms. And then the look, because we say the world's most famous beach, but it seems like a lot of our area on A1A has been neglected. And I think that we as a board, if we could recommend that we really need to take more of an active look of A1A beachside, because even how he just mentioned all of the hotels that were lost during the storm and so many things, when you see how it is now, it's pretty dilapidated in many places. So I think that is something as a board, if we could even recommend that, listen, we have to start spending more money on A1A if we're going to bring more income in to our city. So,
Other comments?
Imagine in Palm Beach or Miami having as much vacant oceanfront property as we have.
yes.
We have the largest supply of, I think, on the East Coast.
There aren't many areas our size
Right.
with the number of vacant lots on the ocean
Yeah.
that we have. And there's a reason for that.
Yes, there is.
Because if I'm going to invest the kind of money to put a condo or a hotel up there and demand the rates that I need to get, I don't want a guy in the pickup truck blasting his music behind my condo.
I agree.
Wheels this big.
Yeah, yeah. It just, it's not hard to figure out.
Yeah.
I do think from a board perspective, though, sending a strong message that the most important thing for this board to do and the city to do is to target businesses that can elevate the community. So it's one thing just to accept, right? Hey, this someone bought the land, they want to build a hotel. Okay, they've checked all the boxes, right? But the most important reason on why we need to try to attract new hotels is candidly it elevates the other hotels. And if there's, look what the Hard Rock has done, candidly what's happening with the Hilton. The reason why the Hilton's getting bought is it needs $300 million or whatever it is. It was a big number in the newspaper to renovate the rooms. Otherwise, you're going to lose it to competition. So as a city, I'm not sure how we do that, but, having a target for, hey, we want one signature new property every year coming in at a minimum, right? And it's hard to pick winners and losers, but it's obviously in your role, not my role, but on how we can do that legally. But it does elevate our community by having refreshed properties that are coming in and looking at, knowing that is a key touch point to exactly what you said. Faith-based conventions, really what we do very well with at the Ocean Center. And I would recommend from this board's perspective how we get into that. John is right. It's city, when it comes to Biketoberfest, it's both, right? So the city can't say it's the CVV. The CVV it's both, right? Because both have to approve it. CVB could say, hey, we want to have a 30-day event. The city can say no, right? So it is both that need to be involved in that process. And if we want to recommend that, hey, we think that probably maybe you should look at some more scope, because there are some good points and bad points, right? You extend the event and it becomes too small on both weekends, guess what? The event's going to die, right? So I'm not saying what the event should be. I'm intimately involved in the event. But to put up a tent costs the same thing whether you do it for 10 days or you do it for 4 days, right? So there are some scale advantages in what you hear about, vendors. Yeah, most of them come from out of state on these. It's a traveling circus. But I think it's worth a look to see what's right. And the greatest comment John had there is the people that are moving in that area, they do want pedestrian, urbanized areas, right? And the more you can have things for them to do is a beautiful thing, because that's what people want to move to. They move to Tampa to live in a condo to be able to not get in their car, right? And so how we can enable that and make it a better spot would be good.
Perhaps we could, going into 26, develop 5 or 10 points for the board to concentrate on, so that we can make a formal recommendation to the city commission. If we just say we think we want to have more, if we give them specific goals, perhaps they could focus on those going forward, staff could focus on. So going into 26, maybe we could do that.
I think that's a great idea. And I think maybe we block off some time at the December meeting, even though we're going to have a speaker. Maybe we understand that we're going to run a little long on that, or does it justify a separate meeting to a workshop to discuss the goals of this for 2026 of this board?
I think when you talk about Avalon and a more population and the absence of services there, that's something the post offices and the libraries. When you get over on Beachside, I mean that's happening by itself. But I think Beachside is something that's got to be focused on with direct goals in order to achieve. And then, because we don't have the developers on the beach side that we have up at Tanger.
I personally think it'd be great for, not to put this on to you, Jeff, but for at least put out at the November meeting, hey, here's preliminary goals, right? On something that we think the economic development, arm of the city thinks is important that we could target. And, we heard a lot about Beachside. So is it $5 million in investment? Who knows what the numbers could be, but that way we can report back onto it, have the initial draft at November, really try to finalize something. And I would encourage us to walk before we run, right? Set up goals that are obtainable and achievable, but things that we all feel good about going into 2026 on so if we're going to have a talking point, does it align to the goals of this? And candidly, if we don't need to meet, but we don't need to meet.
Right.
You were saying something about almost workshopping it, or at least being able to send some information, maybe saying, well, each of us, because a couple of us have ideas that we might want to talk about, or to be able to put on these are points that we really need to look at. I don't know if we want to have an entire workshop, or at least us just submitting some things to you. So, but let's look at this. Let's look at how expanding the driving on the beach really hurts some of the major developers. Because I know myself, if I'm going to a nice resort, I don't want to have somebody riding right in the back. I want that private. I want it cut off. Then now I don't know. In our area now they're going to have an entire dog beach, where there's where people could bring their pets, and it is just so much where we're just taking multi-million-dollar properties and just breaking them down to say, hey, just do whatever you want to do. And I think that maybe we need to really just look at these recommendations, and some of us could be able to come up with some of the ideas and send them to you, and let's just brainstorm. So we'll take up this, and like you said, realistic goals, and seeing what we might be able to do.
Yeah, so if you want to, and we can do it either way. And my suggestion would be, if you want to workshop it, then we'll pick a date between
probably after our November meeting, unless y'all can turn in these ideas really quickly. You can do a quick turnaround, then we could have it at the beginning of November, you know, say in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Because I think to try to do it during one of our meetings and
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
keep
they
it.
I agree.
I think,
Right.
you know, I know y'all have schedule, you know, I'm pretty cognizant of, you know, you're giving up your time to be here in the mornings. So if we could, I think, do it at a workshop and know that you're going to be here for 2 hours or
Right.
an hour and a half outside of our meeting. I think we'd probably get more done and you all won't feel as rushed and you can really, you know, send me 2 or 3 ideas. Or if you got 5, send me 5, whatever the number is. I can compile them and then bring them all back and, you know, say, here's all the, collectively, here's all your goals. And if there's some corresponding, then, you know, at least 2 of you said something along the lines of LPGA beautification, whatever the case may be. So this already has 2 votes, this already had, you know, and then we got all the 1 votes. And then cull that list down. And some of them may be not necessarily even 1-year goals, they may be, you know, a 3-year goal. But at least you'd have that, you know, that here, these are things that you're recommending to the city commission that they need to be
Which is my
cognizant of.
next question is, how long are our terms? How does this work with us being on the board? Do we term out? Do we get vote? Do we have to be re?
I think it's a 2-year term.
2 years.
So after 2 years, then we have to be voted, does it,
You get
Yeah,
reappointed.
yeah.
they
yeah.
reappoint or they just
Right.
say,
Yeah.
walk off into the sunset? Okay.
Yeah.
we put these ideas, they're gonna tell you,
I keep waiting for that letter.
Oh, okay. Or unless the commission, you automatically.
Yeah.
So you just.
So if we could maybe shoot towards, and I know December's a terrible time to do it, but early December, it's 2 hours.
Correct.
Yeah.
A meeting in early December. It'd be really nice going to 2026 with a little more aggressive agenda than we've had in 2025 and a little more proactive. Chris?
Chair, I just want it to be the descending vote. I mean, we got the meeting on the 17th. I think we could have initial quick conversations. I'm not going to be here in November, but I'm just driving here. Everyone that drives, you know, Carol, and everyone tells me how long it takes to drive for LPGA. Why wouldn't we just make that meeting a 2-hour meeting and finalize the goals at that meeting? As long as you had initial discussions about them quickly during November, but then you're going to be here in December 17th, just workshop it that day. And like I said, I don't think we need to sprint with our goals for
Right.
next year, right? But
Well, and that would require people,
less-
we've got to
less
get Jeff
meeting,
some
quite frankly.
feedback. We've got to get Jeff some feedback prior to that meeting.
Right,
So,
right. Send 'em-
so, and I'll be happy to work with you, Jeff, and just try and cull everything down as best we can to make that meeting efficient. And so why don't you and I plan to meet? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you and I plan to meet? Let's take the next 30 days and get your ideas into Jeff. And then sometime after that, you and I can sit down and go through it and maybe set the agenda for the December meeting.
I could also email you like ideas too, right?
Well, I think that was the
that's what I'm
intent.
talking about.
The intent. Get Jeff your ideas via email and
can't email each other.
right. So right. Okay.
Mr. Chair, could I ask a question?
Sure.
Is there a formal canvassing mechanism set up to hear from the residents? Is there anything that you use to gather input rather than anecdotes?
This group, this group
city.
has.
The city, the committee, anybody?
No, we'd have to call, do a public workshop or, you know, have a listening session kind of thing.
I know one of the other cities had this same dilemma. They utilized utility bills, or they could use the BTR for the businesses, the mail out when they do the invoicing for that. But they used the utility bill as a way to disseminate seminar or surveys, or at least requests for surveys you can target regions, zip codes, whatever you want to do, but if you have a focus on beachside, maybe there's a targeted way you could solicit some input to help Bob maybe feed whatever you're going to do as a group here, rather than just who's got an anecdote or their neighbor told them something. It would be a little more objective. The other thing I wanted to mention, and again, one of the other cities did this, is they had a profile that they were pursuing in their strategy, and they were looking for cities that went through a similar transition, and they tried to benchmark using those cities, and then they had data. They had real life before after data that helped to sell it to the community and the commission. So just thought, make it more objective, less subjective, get a lot more traction.
So I think moving forward, certainly there's probably a need for that as we move forward. But I think we can. We're not going to make. I don't think that there are going to be major initiatives that we're proposing to discuss in 2026. However, I think that's great feedback that perhaps there should be something like that in place moving forward to get that information, because city commission meetings, number one, a lot of people don't like to get up and talk, and number two, it's usually dominated by a few people. So I think that's great feedback.
I will send out an email in about 2 weeks, just
Okay.
a reminder.
All right.
Don't forget to send me your information, and then we'll get a meeting scheduled with the chairman, and we'll go through the list and have it ready for you December.
Very good. Okay. So our next scheduled meeting's November 19th. With that, I think we can adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Can I add 2 things?
Oh, sure.
At the county council, the Dog Beach wants to extend eventually to the entire coast. They took half of Daytona Beach the last meeting, everything north of Seabreeze. They want the rest of it.